Hey, Katie. Oh my God. Are we really doing this?
We are. Welcome to Higher Downloads, where two moms, entrepreneurs, and spiritual seekers are getting real about doing our best to live life in alignment.
Yeah, and by getting real, we mean the raw, unfiltered voice memo version of ourselves.
And you know what we're really obsessed with lately: higher
hmm
downloads.
You know that moment when clarity arrives seemingly from nowhere? That's it. That's the higher download from your highest self.
Exactly, because we know everyone has the ability to access their own higher downloads. So nothing is off limits here. Everything in the wheel of life, from career, spirituality, motherhood, relationships.
Yep, everything. And really through the lens of higher consciousness and joy. And we have to share our higher downloads too, right? So grab your coffee
Or your crystals, or whatever you need to have fun with us.
and get ready to tune in to your own wisdom channel because receiving higher downloads means you can live your life in HD.
Higher Downloads starts now. Welcome to Higher Downloads.
We back.
We're here. We're back. We're back. And I'm so excited.
I am too because last episode we had some real time downloads.
We had so many, and I feel like it kept coming back to a theme.
Yep, it sure did.
And it's something that I feel like every day I'm trying to identify and practice. And I feel like it hit on so many of the things that we talked about. So, what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about embodiment
Embodiment. I
and
feel
the
like I didn't know what
wisdom.
that
The
word was.
wisdom. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to speak over you. Say
No,
that.
I feel like I didn't know what that word was like a year ago. And you're like the expert in embodiment, I feel like. Maybe.
Ooh, I am actively practicing.
So, okay, what does embodiment mean to you? What is that?
Okay, also I feel relatively new, but it for sure in the last 18 months in a deep healing journey, I've really under come to understand embodied wisdom. But where I do feel a level of higher understanding or expertise, if you will, is that embodiment is closely related to the idea of experiential learning.
Mhm.
And my dissertation and a lot of my research in the academic and space is on experiential learning, learning by doing.
You're kind of well versed in experiential learning, I would say.
Yes,
Probably.
so there feel real good. But then how you take that into a very personal space
Hmm.
and embody the wisdom that comes from the experience is like a next step. And it's the ability to break through that numbness to really access real data. And I tell my business clients it is a strategic advantage. Otherwise you're leaving a lot of information off the table.
Absolutely.
So, and we got some real time insights when we were realizing and connecting like cultural, religion,
Hmm.
things last episode. Did you have some other insights for you around like how you felt in your body because of some of the cultural
Yeah.
shame you mentioned about?
Yeah. Well, embodiment, it's funny. Sometimes I think you can say words and you and I might say a different word, but we're like saying the same thing, you know?
hmm hmm
And embodiment, I think it's a little bit more of like a cultural buzzword of sorts. Like I feel like it's getting more popular and it's a great word, but whenever like the word that I would have used for my own self to I think say the same thing is alignment. And for me, it's when it's a hell yes all the way. And when we were talking about religion and pressures and expectations on like what do you believe or what do you not believe and all that fun stuff, I just remember having that little gut feeling that was like, ugh, I don't actually feel that 100%. It doesn't feel aligned. And for me, when I think about embodiment, am I living embodied and is it all a hell yes? Is it lined up? Does it feel right? And are my words and my belief inside all matching up? And I feel like that is such an everyday struggle, every hour, every
It is.
hour.
I think it's actually part of the inherent human experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I could never say I'm an expert in embody, but I am practicing it.
Yes. And
Okay,
you help
you
teach
said
people. You're
alignment.
like a teacher.
I am willing to, someone said to me yesterday that I'm a hand holder. I'm willing to hold
Yeah.
your hand through the experience. And I was like, I like that. Like,
I
yes.
love it. I love
Okay,
it.
wait. But so you used alignment and I also use alignment in other capacities, but what is in alignment? Let's define that for our peeps.
Yes. Alignment in my mind is it's all lined up and that is your own line. Like it's not the cultural expectation of you're in line with the cultural expectation. It's what do you want? What do you feel? What feels right for you? What do you know to be true for yourself? What do you need? And then alignment is in everyday operation and communication with others and your work, in your life, in your food choices, in your wellness, and your friendships. Are you operating from like what you know to be true and what you need and authenticity and trying to make that a practice to stay in alignment and
Hmm.
feeling when you're off, right? You can feel if you pay attention to when you're not lined up.
Yeah, so it's like your thoughts, your mind, your heart, your
Mm.
gut, your actions.
Oh, oh.
Because how many times, I mean, guilty, right? I will raise my hand. Like, I think we all probably have had an experience where we're like, what we're thinking and what we say or do is almost in opposition to that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we've learned that a lot of conditioning has happened because that keeps us safe as children. Like, you don't tell your teacher you think she's batshit crazy. You don't like, you or the priest or whatever. Um, and also like that North Star of your knowing is not outside of you. So you're not needing to align to, like you said, the cultural expectations. That story you told that last episode about a teenage love interest, like, just because he was reflecting back this religious societal community norm around expectations of religion, you immediately felt it in your body. Like you could feel that pause. And I think
Mhm.
to me, we all have those moments. To me, embodiment and having the wisdom is is catching that that jerk response, that record scratch moment, that and then realizing, oh, this is a moment for me to, and for some people and in some situations, I understand you have to make a different choice, but that awareness is the first step. And then the second of the alignment is like how you act to that. But there's so many distractions and there's so much noise and we're moving so fast in the world that even that moment can easily be missed.
Absolutely. Well, especially in the fast-paced world we live in and capitalistic culture and
Yes.
just the high expectations of busy culture, hustle culture, all the things. I feel like it's the expectation that is that the majority are not tuned into that level. I mean, I
Yep.
know I wasn't. I know I was
Oh,
completely disconnected
same.
for
It's
like a
almost like
decade.
you, yeah. I was gonna say something that I don't agree with now. I was gonna say you almost have to, and then
Yeah.
I don't agree with that anymore. But
Yeah.
I felt that way. I
It's
surely felt that way.
easier in our world to be
Yeah,
disconnected. Yeah.
it is. And so I went, one of my amazing experiences this week was I got to go see the amazing Brene
Mm,
Brown and Melinda
amazing.
French Gates
Amazing.
live in the flesh in Austin, Texas, the Paramount Theater, because
Wow.
Melinda's new book, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, Melinda's new book, The Next Day,
Oh my gosh,
came
I'm so
out. So
jealous.
she's doing her book tour.
I love
But
it.
check out the bookmark that came with the book that we got with our ticket. Check this out. Can you see this?
Distill your inner voice the next day. Wow.
Distill your inner voice.
Ooh, distill it down. Oh my God, I'm getting
Distill
higher
your inner
downloads
voice.
visual.
Okay, wait. We also got options for little question cards. Read this one. Oh,
Move it over.
oh, when
Other
you're,
way.
s- oh, when you're still, what does your inner voice tell you?
Oh, when you're still. Wow.
So there was some amazing back and forth with Brene and Melinda, because obviously we're on a first name basis. But Brene, like she normally does, dropping these bombs of wisdom. So speaking of numbing out, speaking of missing the embodied the moment, the record scratch moment, Brene drops this bomb on the whole audience and she goes, "You know, I wonder if we stay so busy so the truth doesn't catch up."
Oh, ooh, ooh, that got me.
Oh, I wish we
Oh.
had sound effects right now. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun. We should add them in. That'd be fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get sophisticated on
Yeah.
that one.
Wow. Yeah. Outrun the thoughts, outrun the feelings.
So there was an audible gasp in the theater, and there were some other women that I know who were at the event, and but I wasn't sitting by them, and we went and had a drink after and just kind of caught up, and almost every lady there, despite us sitting in different areas of the theater, we all remembered that quote.
Yeah. Yeah, that when it sticks out and you feel it, you know that that's you. You've been there.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think that's been a part of my work for sure. And I because we're friends, I know your walk too, but this is the hard stuff. I get, speaking of my girl Brene, I get pissed when people say these are the soft skills. This
mm.
is the hard stuff.
Yeah, you totally checked me on that the other day.
I did, yeah. Because the science, the psychology of embodiment, the idea of that means that you have to be awake, you have to be aware, because otherwise the default program that is conditioned in us is that our central nervous system and brain is literally wired to protect us from
And it's
being.
really good at it. It's what it's
Hmm.
built for. It's
It
built
is.
to help us run away from tigers. Literally.
Saber-toothed tigers, literally the reptilian part of our brain is the oldest part of our brain, mapped back to cavemen, cavewomen days, so that when there was a literal life threat, it was our internal alarm.
Yeah, I remember reading something that said the modern day saber-tooth tiger, whatever animal of the time, is now our emails from our boss. Is
Okay,
now
did you catch what you said? Or did I hear it that way? Because I
what?
think you meant to say saber-toothed tiger, but it sounded like you said cyber-tooth. And then that was real cool because you said email, so cyber.
Ooh, the saber-tooth tiger is the email. Stop. It's that's
Okay, we need to riff on this. Like we need to because the modern day saber-toothed tiger is the cyber-toothed tiger.
oh my gosh, I love it. You're so that's hilarious.
And you know I love words, so I'm so
I
into this.
know.
That's a cool
It was like a little
pun.
subconscious thing, huh?
That was Freudian.
Yeah, wow. It really, I mean, that's it. It's like we live in a world overstimulated. And yeah, I actually through really synchronistic experience, dreams and dream analysis, and then a real life experience, got recommended the book Waken the Tiger. And I'm
Mm,
going to butcher, I think it's Peter Levine, but I don't know if he's the founder or like a well known person in somatics. And he talks
yeah.
about this, about the lizard brain and your nervous system and processing emotions. And, you know, one thing that I think about all of this is the emotion side, because, first of all, I'm a Gemini, I'm an air sign. And so I'm in my head. I don't process my feelings the same way as you Cancers do. My
I'm a
husband's a
water
Cancer
sign.
too. So I'm like, I live with Cancers all around me, showing me that I just don't process my feelings the same way. And I just realized, you know, it was easy for me because emotions aren't really culturally accepted, especially in the workplace. Nobody
Mm-mm.
wants you to be angry or sad or scared. And if you are, you know, it's just like a weird dynamic. And so, yeah, we're almost encouraged not to feel our feelings and process them and be in touch with them. Soft skills. right?
Yep.
That's like,
I was literally on a stage yesterday speaking to 300 executive MBAs from Mexico, and I was like, oh God, I'm about to make this pop culture reference that often works with Americans, the movie A League of Their Own, when Tom Hanks's character is like, there's no crying in baseball. And I was like,
mm,
I remember like first entering the workforce and having a male mentor basically say, there's no emotion in business. But hey, it actually the pop culture reference landed with them. But yeah, it's the emotions piece is it's and it's so weird. Like, why was that ever the case? The smallest unit of analysis of organizations are humans, and humans are made up of emotions. But then we're supposed to check them at the door.
well, I feel like at some point, maybe this is like Industrial Revolution. I'm not a historian, but at some point it feels like the idea of human became almost like a machine. Like you should work, grind, no, separate it, compartmentalize things,
Hmm.
and being able to do that was a pride. I mean, truthfully, I have noticed this in myself lately because I have young kids. They get sick, and it's very inconvenient to be productive when your kids are sick or when you start to get sick. And I had noticed this pattern. I would start to get really anxious when anyone would get sick because I realized I was uncomfortable with being forced to slow down. It felt like I was out of control. And then I realized it was just because I was worried about being and looking productive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is such a like, yeah, we're not machines. We have bodies, they get sick. We have emotions, they need to be felt. And that's normal. And
Hmm.
it's just so wild how this programming can get like so deeply ingrained in you that it carries through other life experiences.
Yeah, and guilty there. I felt that time and time again. I mean, I was back teaching when my son was 7 weeks old. It was like biggest regret of my life because I had this fear of not being able to produce, not being able to do my job, and yeah, I get that. And one thing I think we need to make sure, I'm sure a lot of our listeners already know this, but it's so important that we share back to the lizard brain, the reptilian brain, what happens when we feel the fear, even if it's not the saber-tooth tiger, but it's the cyber-tooth tiger. The things that happen is our bodies tend to do one of four things, the four F's: fight off that tiger; flight, run away; freeze, that's my nervous system's favorite. And fawn. Fawn is the other fourth F that like, oh no, I've done something wrong, or I'm gonna like win you over, or no, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I didn't mean to do that. So fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Are the different response pattern blocks that keep us out of our bodies and then like on this default programming. And okay, real quick, especially because I'm thinking about the rise of AI, and I do this other work too. You said something interesting, Katie. It's like we went from being human, maybe Industrial Revolution, which you're actually correct. We went from being human to being like optimized machines. And now in the rise of and especially generative AI, when machines can do repetitive tasks and do these things, like I think our job is to become more human. But there's so many humans that are afraid of a robot taking their job, but they act like a robot at work.
The solution is to be more productive and check out from your own emotions and double down. I know. I,
Ugh.
I've really enjoyed you bringing this whole theory and concept around this because I think it is a fascinating way to think about, okay, if AI is here, technology efficiency is here, it's constantly improving. At what point do we get to human more? Do we get to feel more and not, yeah, and like trust in getting that experience again? Instead of experience in life being about productivity and how much wealth you can amass, but like how can you enjoy every day and experience the full experience of being a human on this planet? It's incredible.
Yes. I think you used the word force. Did you use
Mm,
that or did I say hear it?
I don't remember, but I know,
I
yeah.
felt the word force as you were speaking, and it just reminds me of like these stories that I have of being forced into like a boardroom and like, okay, monkey dance, like, okay, brainstorm all the possible innovations we could do. And it's
Yeah.
like, ugh, I just came from like 8 back-to-back meetings and my bladder is so full and like I need to use the bathroom and did I eat today? And okay. Churn them out, churn them out.
Yeah. It literally makes no sense.
Ugh. But
Okay.
it's hard. Like we said, we're both practicing it. So what are
Yeah.
the things that you fight? Like I'll
Yeah.
go first. I fight digital distractions. I fight the cyber tooth. My phone it's hard.
Yes. I have a tendency of just control. Like I'm like, if I have it under control, I'm okay. And so when things are urgent and like need to check that email or need to make sure this thing comes through, it's the fighting. I can get lost in the repetitive checking, you know?
Mm.
And start to get a sense of like rush feeling. And that's how I know I'm like, okay, you need to slow down. The Cybertooth tiger is not coming for you. You're not going to miss anything that important. You're not a doctor. Like, it's not.
Okay, but also don't we want our medical doctors to slow down?
That's very true.
Because my husband was watching this Netflix show, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't on Netflix, some streamed show called oh my God, The Pit. And it was like
Hmm.
24 hours at a medical facility in a hospital.
Wow.
And I didn't actively watch it, but it would be on while he was, and I remember thinking like, I, oh my gosh, like these are characters on a TV show and I need to go out of a different room because I'm feeling their stress. I'm feeling their anxiety. Like
Yeah.
I can't do what I need to do in this bedroom because he's
Yeah.
watching these characters who were medical doctors who busyness as an avoidance of presence, back to Brené's quote, but like the thing I want most with a medical practitioner of any sort is presence with me so they
Mm.
can intuitively feel and help me diagnose or help me think through
So
and
this just,
brainstorm.
yeah, this just dropped in because, and we haven't talked about this aspect of this yet, but the flow state. Like what I thought is,
Oh,
well, I don't mind a doctor being busy as long as they're in the flow, as long as they're aligned, and as long as they
mm,
love what they're doing, they want to help people. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in the flow state, I have so much energy. I could tune out everything in my email inbox. I'm not worried about my email inbox then. I'm having fun and I'm in the moment and all the creativity is flowing in.
okay.
And I think there's a big distinction between flow state busyness being present
Mm,
and maybe in what we're talking about, which is like urgency, disconnected, overwhelmed, flustered, whatever that is.
oof. Yeah, I am here for that. That's like a truth bomb. That's and a clear, a very important distinction
Mm-hmm.
between busyness as an avoidance and distraction. And for me, it's like overthinking or intellectualizing, and I get caught in
Mm.
the same thought pattern.
Yes.
But that is disconnection. What I'm hearing you say is being in the flow allows you to be connected to the presence so
Absolutely.
acutely.
Oh, that's such a good distinction for the nuance because yeah, is that the difference of flow is presence and non-embodiment or overwhelmed or disconnection is being somewhere else.
Yeah. And I wish I could remember the statistic or whatever it was, but somewhere I read like think about your day. How much of the day did you spend thinking about the future? How much of your day did you think about replaying the past? And how much of your day did you spend being physically present in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
And when I remember reading that quote, statistic, whatever it was, being like, damn, if this was a pie chart, and so that's actually been a little bit of a higher download for me where I've been much more thoughtful of, how do I want the pie chart of my day today to be like? And
So
where
true.
can I be intentional about presence?
It is so true. And I'm gonna butcher this. You know, I have my book club, my Wild Woman Collective, where we just go really deep on the Happy Pocket Full of Money book. And I know he cited it in that book, but I don't think this is the origins of it. I think it's Buddhist or Lao Tzu or somebody like that, where they
Hmm.
just talk about literally the only moment we have is now. Even in the future, when the future gets here, it's now when
It's
it's here. And I don't know how much I think about the past and the future. And like, just if you think about it from the concept of that now, later, and in the past or the future doesn't exist. Wow. Well, you really like narrows in what you're paying attention to.
Yes, and so this relates to that book, Happy Pocket Full of Money, which we absolutely recommend, which is then based on quantum
Mm-hmm.
principles, which then relates to something else I love, which is are really good quotes. My son is named Lincoln for a reason. We're inspired by Abraham Lincoln, and one of my favorite Abraham Lincoln quotes is, "The best way to predict the future is to create it."
Oh,
And I'll add now. So
yeah.
what can you do now in this moment?
I love
Oh,
it.
that moment we just lost that moment, Katie.
Shit, I'm trying to hold in a cough. We're gonna have to edit this out.
Oh.
Ah, it's okay. Okay, I think I got it out. That's all right. All right. Uh, it's
So I
so
was,
true.
yeah, the old Abe,
Old Abe. Yes, yes.
but it's like, it's such a challenge. We're both moms.
Yeah.
And you were saying,
Ambitious moms, I
and
want to
what?
say. Ambitious.
We are ambitious moms with our own businesses.
We just have a lot we want to do in the world, right? And not from a place of
Oh,
ego, from a place of purpose.
I I need to think of like a hybrid word that represents like I am simultaneously on fire and empowered to the max and also like overwhelmed, like, but
Mhm.
whatever the nexus of that is, I can't stop feeling that momentum, that gravitational forceful pull of like so much is happening in the world. There's so much to do. It's so big. It's so painfully big. And yet, back to our moment of embodiment and presence, what the hell can I do right now?
Mhm.
And sometimes I think the very best thing I can do for the world is for me to actually stick with my meditation practice.
Okay, good. I was about to ask. I want to hear what are you
Like sometimes
recommending?
that's the best thing I can do for myself in the world.
Okay, so meditation. Are there like one or two things? Like what are your most important things that you do? I want to hear like tangible.
Yeah, I feel like we could just riff on this, but um meditation used to be really, really hard for me, and I used to say I couldn't meditate, but I realize now it's because I had such a dysregulated nervous system.
Mm, yeah.
Days, don't get me wrong, where like 4 minutes feels like an hour. And then there are
Mhm.
other days where I'm like the 20 or 30-minute timer goes off and I'm like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, meditation. I am really into breath work. I
Mm.
didn't love breath work at first because it's so hard. It's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it's work.
Um, but yeah, it's important for me to get to a facilitated breathwork class a couple times a month. It's a very clearing. I'd like to do it more often, but I
Yeah,
mean, that's what I can do with my schedule. It's very
let's
clearing.
describe what breathwork is because I feel like so many people haven't done it or they've
Yeah.
only heard the word and they don't really know what it means. Or, like for me, I had heard the word, and of course, Google or whoever is showing me ads for breathwork where people are like spasming and doing all kinds of crazy stuff at these breathwork events and whatever. And that's not been my experience with breathwork. So yeah, how I would describe it as facilitated breathing
Yes.
that basically does different things depending on the breathwork pattern for your nervous system.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that keeps us alive is literally our breath. And yet we don't breathe effectively or efficiently as humans. We usually
Mhm.
are very shallow breathing, and I talk a lot about this in my like leadership stuff, but when our nervous system's overregulated or dysregulated and our reptilian brain is like beep beep, fight, flight, or freeze, we tend to have a very shallow breathing because cortisol and adrenaline are
Mhm.
released into our bodies, and adrenaline raises our heart rate. So we need shorter, shallow breaths. Think about when you're exercising. But we need these cleansing, deep diaphragm like breaths, and we don't do them often in our day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, breath work is so cool. And like what I like about that is that you can go and someone facilitates it for you in a class or like on YouTube even. I have even
Hmm.
Insight Timer. One of my favorites is on Insight Timer. It's like 16 minutes or something. Like that's easy. It is work, but it's also you can be passive in it. Whereas meditation, I mean, you can go to meditation classes, but like to do that a daily practice, you have to like have yourself sit and do it, you know?
I'm sure there's very disciplined people out in the world. I can meditate by myself. I like a guided, but I can meditate. Breath work, I need a facilitator. That's
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's much I get more out of it whenever I'm in a facilitated situation. But I do remember my hang up with meditation. I had heard about it, right? Like I remember mindfulness when it became a trendy word or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, great, if it's so great, of course. And I remember what overcoming the meditation piece to actually be able to get into the practice was when I needed someone to teach me. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has some
Mm-hmm.
books, and one of his books, he basically teaches you step by step and with science how it's working. Because I'm kind of like, I need to understand it to really get into it. And so I went through his he has a couple different protocols and visualizations and do it for 7 days or 21 however many days. And once I did that, someone taught me how because I just feel like I couldn't get there on my own until I had some more explicit direction on how to do it basically. And ever since then, it's now I get it and it's I can auto, slip into it and understand the practice. But I feel like that was a really going through his book and like his teachings and it teaches you how.
That's a good resource for everyone. I know, and I think there's people. We have a friend, a mutual friend, who can relate to this too. But she also struggles with it. And for me, it was like when I would get quiet, my body was so conditioned from like burnout and corporate and all those things. It was like if I'm gonna be quiet and still, my body's like, oh, it's sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, this is my chance to remind you of the 18 million things that you have to do. And then I had to like hurry and grab a paper because it was just like, I need to like,
Uh-huh.
and so I did also have to learn. I had to really learn what it felt like for a thought to come in and to release it. And I learned that I don't like to release things. I learned that holding on to stuff and looking at it from a million angles
No, no
and
way.
intellectualizing things was actually a control pattern of
Mm,
safety.
yeah.
So, and then I also am an achiever. So I like to like check things off my list. But so meditation, I was like, I just want to be good at meditation, then I don't have to do it again. I know
Yeah.
people can relate to that.
I know, I know.
That's why they
Whenever
call it a
I
damn practice, because you have to keep.
practice, I remember, and before I really got into yoga too, I remember a practice. Like, no, it's exercise. You go check the box. Like, no, that's not it.
Can you give me achiever yoga, please?
They have those classes, I think.
Oh. Okay, hold on. You're usually the one bringing me back on track, but I want to bring you back on track. Somatics. We want to like list a few other ways that other people can do
Yes,
somatics. The idea of bringing yourself back into your body because this intuitive knowledge exists.
meditation, mind, breath, body and breath. But for me, the other big one, which I have learned just recently, is movement.
Mm.
And I think I used to get out, go for a run, and I'm like feel so much better after, and not realizing like that's somatic practice and moving my body and processing things. And so when I say movement, I usually it needs to be fun. If it
Hmm.
feels like I'm forcing myself to exercise to like move my body, that's not going to do
You're
it.
like
But like when
adding to the pain instead of
yeah.
allowing the stuff to process through the cortisol and this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even sometimes it's just like turning on music and jumping around and being silly because it's just like then I'll start laughing and then that just helps move everything through.
Yeah. Oh, laughter's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also learned recently, speaking of movement, trampolines, and you have one. You have a little
Mm.
rebounder, right?
Yes, yes.
And then one that's more gentle, because there's probably we could almost like plot them on a spectrum, right, between like super active and gentle. But another one that's gentle for me is learning about grounding and being barefoot on Mother Earth
Mm-hmm.
and allowing nature and the negative and positive like ions and stuff like balance from the earth like and let that come into my body. There's such cool science in grounding. There's a great documentary around grounding too, around helping to reduce inflammation in our bodies, like letting the earth literally just let us kind of drain some of our frustrations and pain and stuff back gently to Mother Earth and let her like just rejuvenate us. Like, and also, I don't know about other people or you, but like being barefoot on the grass is like reminds me of childhood too. There's some joy in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it is. I feel like the list is so long of things you can do. It's like the possibilities really are endless. It's just finding what works for you and what makes the difference.
You gotta move, you gotta be in your body, you gotta be present. Obviously, presence, big one.
Hmm.
Um, so have you ever had any higher downloads because of embodiment or
Oh,
somatic practices?
I honestly, sometimes it feels like when I'm doing all this stuff, I'm just chasing the channel. It's almost like when you do it, then ideas come in and fun stuff comes in and inspiration and call this person or do this thing. So that's when I'm just hustle and I'm not feeling creative or feeling like good ideas. It's almost like, oh, I need to go do my embodiment practices. And then it feels like things just drop in when during the process or after even. And just, yeah. So I feel like that's my main
Yeah,
method.
it is me too. When I'm feeling stuck in anything, or when I catch myself, right, the record scratch moment, when I catch those things, I'm like, I gotta go do something. And sometimes the only thing I can do is like, I'll do like jumping jacks, or I'll like, when kids throw a tantrum, they let their like arms and legs flail. Like, I'll
Yeah.
just do that. Like, um, or like just, ah,
You
like
gotta
just
have a
let your,
silly tantrum sometimes, guys.
yeah,
You're never too old. It's
you
so
are
important.
never too old.
Mm.
Okay, I just had a little quick drop in. You know how, like, some of the stuff we're talking about, some people might think like we're just so wackadoo, but others who are on our frequency absolutely know. But one of the more widely accepted things, at least I've heard like in American culture, is like, my best ideas come to me in the shower.
Uh-huh.
You've
Yeah,
heard
or
that, right?
driving
Like
or
people
while
say that.
driving. Yeah.
Hello, why? Because two things are happening. You're finally allowing yourself to feel the water on your skin. You're finally, that's what people do in the shower, right? Oh, they're letting the day wash off of them. They're letting the cultural expectations roll off of them. They're cleansing, by the way, water, sane property, so much beauty in water. We should do an episode on water. uh, and like and so they're feeling their body, and then what did we talk about earlier? Flow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like, yeah, you can't scroll on your phone in the shower, and yeah, you can turn on
Oh, I'm
music
sure
or
people try.
something. I'm sure somebody has found a way, but mostly we're not doing that and checking email and all that fun stuff. And it's like, oh, it's actually like silent solitude time. Take a longer shower. I get that way when driving because, like, obviously you have to be present when you're driving a car, and I love it when I get just tuned out and so many ideas come in on long car rides, especially when I'm by myself, not when the kids are in the car, but
But you're tuned in.
tuned in. Yes. Well,
Or I don't want to put words in your mouth. What did you
no, I
mean by
think
that?
it's tuned in and tuned out. It's like when you're tuned out from the noise and then you're
Oh,
tuned in to like these drop-ins, these messages, clarities, ideas, and things like that. So it's like both.
yeah, because otherwise we are one with the noise. We are
Yeah.
one with the static. We are one with the world buzzing and saying that like urgency is key, and must do this now, and be the perfect parent, and crush your sales quotas, and like have something nutritious for dinner, and like bah bah noise noise noise. So like when you're disembodied, you're one with the noise. You're like
Yes.
"Wah." And then what you're saying is like we tune out the noise, we tune in to
Mm-hmm.
whatever's present. Like you're driving,
Yeah.
so you have to be safe, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
tuning into self. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You can't be distracted, so you can finally let go of that and be present with where you are, and it's really cool when things drop in. I'm sure you've had this experience. You might not know it's called embodiment, for those of you listening, but just stay curious. That's what I would say. Try something new. I think that's a one recommendation. If you're listening to this right now, just try one thing, one new thing, and just see.
Yeah, try it out. And if you are somebody who likes to get your exercise in or walk in with like a podcast or music, which I love too, maybe try it without that distraction and be with yourself.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, but I would love to hear from people what they're trying and what it felt like.
Absolutely. And if you have your own embodiment practice that we didn't talk about and you're passionate about it, share it. I want to try it.
Share it. We want to know all the things.
All of it. Oh, well, this has been a really lovely episode of Higher Downloads. And I'm really, obviously, we're very passionate about this topic. So
I
I'm
am
sure
so
we'll talk about this more.
I'm sure will come, yeah, something will come through. Or we'll get chased by a new tooth
Cyber,
tiger.
everybody, watch out for those Cybertooth tigers this week.
They're very real. Get back in your body.
All right. Well, you can find us on all of our socials at Higher Downloads and come find us. Reach out. Let us know. Let us know what your downloads are. You just experienced another Higher Download. We are so grateful you joined us on this journey.
Yep, so if you're feeling that high vibe energy and want more, subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if this episode sparks something in you, we'd be over the moon if you'd share it with someone who might need this download too.
Yep, connect with us on Instagram at Higher Downloads, where we share more behind the scenes magic and some bonus content.
You can also find full episodes, transcripts, show notes, and resources at higherdownloads.com.
Until next time, trust your downloads and keep vibrating higher.